Hey guys, you're here with me, White Guns and Pikachu, and I should probably click on the screen, shouldn't I, so you can hear some music. This is the beginning of a new Let's Play. Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. Oh god, this game. It's a long one, so this is going to be a really, really long game in the making, but I think you guys will like it. We're going to shoot for 20-minute parts on this. No longer, no less, but right around 20 minutes. This is also going to be more professional. Pokemon Ruby has been sort of a way to look at the community and sort of gauge myself in terms of what I can do in a comedic standpoint with a game when I'm not really worried about what people think. You know, getting it in and getting used to doing Let's Plays. Now it's sort of a game where I want to take this game because I love it so much and because it's been such a huge part of my childhood and my life that I want to take this game and I want to do something great with it. You know, I've got intro pictures for both games actually now set up. I've got new intros and I've got good intro remix music from Newgrounds. Oh god, I love the remix music that you just heard, that intro. I think I'm working towards something bigger. So, our main character, now if you've played the original Final Fantasy Tactics, which was War of the Roses, I think War of the Roses was the remake for PSP. Correct me if I'm wrong in those comments down there. But the original was just Final Fantasy Tactics. This guy's name was Ramza, and it was the same sprite. This game is one of the reasons that there are still strategy RPGs. This game was a huge success on the Game Boy. So as you can see, we've got Marchie, our main character, the blonde with the cowlick. Moot is the guy in the green hoodie, and Ritz is the girl with the pink hair. So this is the tutorial. It's a snowball fight. It's a basic tutorial on how to use the combat system. So they're justifying it, saying, well, he's never had a snowball fight before, so they've got to show you how to snowball fight. So this is the first half of a combat tutorial, and this is really the only action we'll see in this part of the Let's Play, because there's so much cinematic in the beginning of this game. And I actually have a very unprofessional pre-shot at recording this part that I did with David that I'm going to upload at the end of the Let's Play as a bonus episode. So, you know, that's bonus episode 1, and then bonus episode 2 will be some extra stuff that I can find, hidden characters and anything like that, for those of you. I'm going to ask, no spoilers. If you've played the game before, don't spoil it for the other people who haven't. This game's got a really heavy story, and it's great in moments, so please don't ask what I'll be doing. You'll see. Don't ask, you know, if I've done something yet, or if I've thought about this or that. Don't ask, because I don't want to hear it. We'll see. So you'll see, this is sort of like a hopeless battle here. It's basically getting the hang of moving, and this is much easier on a Game Boy, it's much more comfortable. But after the first couple turns, you'll start to notice that the other characters, Lyle, Guinness, Colin, basically everyone on the opposite team is going to take turns throwing snowballs at Moot. And he'll of course tell us, as it's about to be our turn, that if you attack from the side or behind, you have a greater chance of hitting, and that is very important to remember that. Elevation also gives an advantage sometimes, but we're not really worried about that right now, because it's not like this is a serious battle where we're going to be focusing on doing some damage. You know, it's basically just a little tutorial to get you used to the system. And so you've seen Lyle, Guinness, and Colin have all been, you know, picking on Moot, and that's what they do. So actually, backspace is select, right? Yes, it is. Okay. Which is game help. Okay. Okay, so if I click on a character who's not me, like Moot, right? You can check status. Notice it says librarian. I feel like these are like little Easter eggs, so you can look. I'm responsible for tidying the few library books. Basically, you can examine jobs, and I can hit A off my character to come back, but, you know, I feel like that's a little Easter egg for the people who actually cared to look. For those asking, yes, this is done on an emulator. I have no capture card, but I own 2 cartridges, count them 2, of this game, because I like to keep my save files, and such. So, no yelling today. Let's go for Guinness with Moot. So you can see Moot's got 5 health left, but I think it's shortly after Ritz's second turn. This cutscene, there'll be a cutscene, and that'll end the tutorial here. But I am gonna rave. I love the graphics. I love the music. A lot of people didn't like the lighter-edged graphics, like as opposed to the harsher ones of the original, like the darker colors. But I really like this graphic style. It reminds me of Bastion, even though Bastion's much newer than this game. I think the game was 03 or 04. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly. So they're aiming at Moot, but of course, as bullies do, they find a way to work within the rules to make fun of people. So there you go. He's bleeding. I'm bleeding. Yeah. So they're throwing a rock because they're a jerk. Oh, and of course you deny throwing rocks, even though when you threw a snowball at him, he starts to bleed and there was a rock in it. God. So then they start to pick on Ritz because they're jerks, and that's what people do, you know? I mean, but that's something that I like about this game. Every character is exemplified by a trait, you know, or by something they want. They've got that one thing, and that's like the most important to about my mic, most important thing to them. You know, and we'll see that later in the game. I can't say anything now because I'll spoil it, but you know, there's that one thing that they want, and this game has such great theming with the story, and it teaches you a lesson. So we learned that Marchie's brother is sick, and he's in the hospital a lot. So Moot's gonna go buy this book about magic and awesomeness, and we're gonna take it over to our house and take a read through it. So, yeah. And somehow they know which house I'm in, even though this is like my first day at the new school. It's kind of weird how they know where I live. But while we're doing this, I'm gonna take a quick drink here. You notice that Moot's like, oh crap, as he sees this guy. And I love that guy's hat. I wish they used that sprite more than just once in the game for this. So you see Mr. Randall. Mr. Sid Randall, actually. And he recognizes Moot, so now Moot's like, oh, that's my dad, as Ritz is making fun of him. He just seems kind of aloof, you know, this really early. He's just like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, yeah, I'm really busy, and oh, my mother's yelling in the background. I might have to cut this chunk of the audio out here. I'll put up an annotation if I do, because if she's yelling at the cat, then I'll have to cut it out, and I'll put up a little thing right on the screen right there. It says, my mother is currently yelling at the cat like an obnoxious, horrible person during my Let's Playing, and yeah. I mean, we're just trying to talk over it, I guess will have to work. If she could stop making obnoxious noises, that would just really help me so much, but enough of that. So those two go off to buy the book, and we go home to visit Donut. You notice that kettle is like dynamically moving the entire time. And the fire, I think it's cool. So apparently snowball fighting is now like a sport, but they're already here right after we get home. See, if I was going in the house, I would take off like my ridiculously hot scarf and jacket, but tell me about it, man. Ugh, so everybody's here. And Ritz is just so polite. Oh my god, she reminds me of Mitsuru from Persona 3 FES. It's the red hair and everything. and then your main character is kind of like, I wouldn't say he's Sosuke, or Sosuke, god, oh, too much Super Genius, Minato. I wouldn't say he's Minato, but... Alright, now, this music right here, enjoy it, while I shut up for this cutscene. That music, I love it so much, and it's not used nearly enough in this game. Like, I will visit the spot where it plays just to hear it. But they've got some kind of freaky magic Latin book. Yeah, Latin does sound like magic. Latin sounds like magic, and every time I hear somebody speaking Japanese, I feel like they're, you know, they're in Naruto. Dear God, it's been so long since I've seen that. Oh, okay, here comes my favorite line in the entire game, and I always remember this. Alright, so what game is your favorite, Ritz? Ho ho, that's a good question. I'd pick Final Fantasy. I would screenshot this right here, and make it my intro screen if I could. I could do that. I won't, because I've got a better picture for it, I think, and I'm gonna get a friend of mine to draw me a nice intro screen so I can stop using the one I got from DeviantArt pretty quickly. I'd rather use my own work that I've gotten friends to do for me, but as far as pictures go, because I have people that can draw them for me, and I could arrange and remix my own music, I just don't have the time anymore to do stuff like that. I'm too busy. So, okay. But I'll rave about the music, because all of the music in this is good. And here's another cutscene. So I'll just stop talking and we'll watch. This is actually the intro right here, but there are words over it in the intro. So I'll shut up now and let you listen to this really peaceful, serene music. Alright, and we wake up in the middle of an odd... Krill's got like a Middle Eastern theme almost, especially when you see the paladins with the turbans, but like a Middle Eastern-y feel without the music, but like the way the doors are done and everything gives me a sort of like near Middle East feel, so... You're a lizard! What? And then notice the Moogles and the Black Mage all just sort of like, oh, he said lizard, run. So, you know, we've angered these two Bangas, as they're called, and there's a Moogle, a nice friendly Moogle, who will say Kupo so many times, but that's a staple of Final Fantasy, is the Moogles and their Kupoing, so... We apologize to the Banga. And if this Moogle saves us, they're like, "You're a soldier, bro." And we're like, "What?" No. And they're like, "Do it, bro." And we're like, "Okay, sorry about that. I had to fix something with my computer really quick." But it's now taken care of. Alright. So, this is our second half of the combat tutorial, and I'm going to turn my headset volume up because I love this stuff here. Alright. So his name is Mont Blanc, and there are currently 4 classes in place, so I'll take this time to explain the basic uses of each class as we go over it. And the judges and the laws. Basically, the judge is the guy in the big armor, and the laws are basically the rules for combat. So if the law says no swords, and you attack someone with a sword, you'll get a yellow card. Unless you kill them, or knock them out, actually. Then you'll get a red card, and you'll go to prison. If your main character, Marchie, goes to prison, you lose game over. Well, you lose on game over on certain missions. Otherwise, it's just you lose the mission, you fail. If he gets knocked out, you don't, however. And there's no, like, you're knocked out for 3 turns and you die, like there was in the original Tactics. So you'll notice Mont Blanc here is a black mage. Black mages are good distance. They're the most basic magic class. They learn fire, lightning, fire, thunder, blizzard, and then they're also advanced forms like Fyra, Blizzara, Thundara, and then Fyraga, Blizzaga, and Thundarga, which are the most advanced black mage spells. Black mages are good, and I typically use black magic because it's a simple thing to have. The guy I just KO'd there is a white monk, which is one of the 2 basic Banga classes. Okay, there's the warrior, the guy standing next to him. And we just got a judge point for a KO. So when you knock someone out, you get a KO, you get a judge point. Judge points allow you to use combos and other things late game. So, they're good. Combos always hit, so it's useful, and you can bring other characters in to do tons and tons and tons of damage. So the warrior is basically the Banga parallel of the soldier, which is what Marchie is currently. They're not bad. They're basically basic attack with one-handed weapons and a shield, or two-handed weapons. And then they also do breaks, status debuffs. Like one of the abilities is speed break, and then magic break, which damages mana or lowers magic attack. And then there's like a defense break one, and then there's stuff like that. So basically, those. And then they have first aid as a basic, like self-heal. So every unit has the ability to use items instead of having a class for that. Anyone can use them, which is nice. That's a nice thing they added from the change from the first game, rather. So you'll see this engagement here. Engagements take time. I didn't actually think we were going to get this far in 20 minutes, so I'm glad that we did. You see I can use a combo. I'll show that. So you notice, like, normally when I attack, so if I use fight, the spaces I can damage are green. When I use a combo, they turn orange. And you saw how he glowed. So here's the combat combo animation. There's different types of combos for each class. Your main character will inherently know combat combo. He's the only character that will come knowing a combo, I think. Other characters, you have to obtain mithril weapons and teach them combos. Mithril is a staple in a lot of RPGs, Final Fantasy especially. In this game specifically, mithril is a white metal, and it is what you use to teach combos. You can find mithril weapons during random clan encounters, and then when you find them, typically it's not very common, but it is a good way to grind up your clan members for set missions, and then you grab some mithril weapons. So I don't know how I'll be doing that in this Let's Play. I might just not record some grind. I might do some grinding. and not record it, or I might record it and then only save like little tiny scraps from recording sessions, and then import like a bunch of them together. Like I might record for an hour and then only save 5 minutes of it, of showing what I got from each mission, showing some best ofs, you know, maybe show a couple grinding sessions against some, like show each clan at least once, you know. So you'll notice he used a potion, and this is the animation that shows. They just do the exclamation point when you break the law. So normally this wouldn't happen, but they're doing it for effect to tell you you will go to prison if you break it. So apparently items were against the law. So they've made it impossible for you to fail this first mission by getting sent to prison. I've never actually died on the first mission. I don't think anyone has, but I'd kind of like to see it, although kind of like to not see it. So, as we leave these two talking about Bangas and where he's from, Kadone, Muscadet, you know, Moogles are stuffed animals. They're actually more bunny-ish, but as you'll notice down the bottom left, it's Avira. They're even more like rabbit-esque. So, I think we'll wrap this up here, and, oh, man. I just don't want to stop recording right now, but I'm going to have to, because I've got to go eat dinner, and I've got to upload this tonight. So, we'll call it right here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope the intro turns out the way I'm hoping it will. And then, that'll be really cool, I think. And then, we'll see how it goes. I mean, you know, this Let's Play is going to be a long ride, and we'll see how much I can figure out doing it. I think it's going to be a lot more professional than Pokemon Ruby. Actually, I know it is, because, dear God, that's just a heap of a mess. And I'm going to try to work on it and pick it up a little bit, but it's kind of just like a way I can really stress by playing that game, you know, using the fast forward. I don't think I'll be using it all during this game. But there we go. That's part 1. Check out the hyperlinks that I've got up there. That's pretty neat, huh? I've got some links up for playlist and part 2 and everything on Ruby now, actually, so you can go check that out. Check out the channel. Everything should be up and updated. So thank you guys for watching. Let's play Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced Part 1. I will see you guys next time in Part 2. And if you choose to watch my Pokemon Ruby, then God save your soul, because it's absolutely horrible. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Everybody have a good day.